fans will say, oh, you didn't ask. Obviously, Ryan was with you, with Eddie, 5 fights, 5 knockouts. What do you think happened there?
I don't know what happened, really. I don't know what he's thinking about it, but he say he wants more time, right? Eddie has all the time for him. Eddie was here last year, before last year, when he fighting after Happy New Year. Yeah. Eddie was here in Christmas, New Year, everything for him. He wins with Campbell, and then happened something with him. So I don't know. I'm not sure, but Eddie have all the time for all the fighters. You ask Oscar, you ask everybody. If you discipline and you have the time to put in the gym and train really good, you put discipline, Eddie is always gonna be there with discipline too. Because I'm being with Eddie a lot of years, so I saw Eddie when a lot of fighters come to the gym and really good fighters, and he have all the time. But if he saw, you come today, train 20 minutes and then go, and then you don't come 4 days or 3 days, okay, and then next day you say, hey, I come in at 12, and you come at 2, so you need to be disciplined, right? So you can ask everybody, Oscar Valdez, Frank Sanchez, whatever, Andy Ruiz too. I talk with Andy Ruiz too. It's the same. He come one day and no come.
And those were the words of Canelo Alvarez as he was asked about Ryan Garcia and his recent departure from the Reynoso gym. Okay, Eddie, with classic legend Chepo Reynoso, which Eddie's been running the show for quite a while. I just remember Eddie and Chepo. But Canelo Alvarez explained, pretty much the best way he knew how to explain Ryan Garcia, how his attitude was in the gym, his protocol, the things that he used to do. And let's talk about a lot of that stuff. As you heard Canelo Alvarez, speaking English, say that, hey, Ryan would show up. Well, first he said that Ryan would want more time. And that was his complaint. He wasn't getting the time that he desired, individually to work one-on-one with Eddie Reynoso, and Canelo was like, well, that's bullshit, because Ryan Garcia would come in, train for like 20 minutes, leave on a Monday, stay gone 3 or 4 days, or say he's coming the next day at 12, then he shows up at 2, and he wants to talk about time. You have to be disciplined. So based on what Canelo Alvarez is saying, people, he was saying that Ryan Garcia would basically come in, work out, train when he wants to, leave, come back when he's scheduled to come back at a certain time, didn't come back at that time. And then when he shows up, he's complaining about the time that he's receiving. That's how I interpret it. Okay. And when you do that type of thing, that's a no-go. Because at the end of the day, you have Canelo Alvarez, cash cow, Frank Sanchez, another undefeated, climbing the heavyweight ranks fighter. You have Andy Ruiz, the former unified heavyweight champion of the world. Okay, you have Oscar Valdez. Regardless of what people think about Valdez, he's still undefeated, and he's still a guy that puts in work. He's the guy that you see training with Canelo Alvarez. So you have all these different guys there, right? And then you got Ryan Garcia that's not even a belt holder. He's like an interim whatever, if he's that. Yes, he has the Twitter followers and he's young and this, that, and the other, but I always question how hungry he was. I always question the fact that, hey, does this guy really even want to fight the best? Because you don't really see him talking about it, And, of course, he had his mental breakdown or whatever the fuck you want to call that. I'm not really sold on that either, based on what I just heard from Canelo Alvarez, because Canelo's like, hey, this guy wouldn't even show up. He's disciplined. I mean, he had to be disciplined, which he wasn't. He showed up when he wanted to, but then yet he complains about the time that he did not have with the coach. And basically, what Canelo Alvarez is saying in his nice Mexican mannered way, okay, he's saying that Ryan Garcia is lazy. He's a prima donna. He does what he wants to, and when he doesn't get what he wants, he bails. Okay, and then you look, a blind man could read this shit, okay? That's exactly what happened. You can't claim to want this type of time and don't show up on time. You can't do that, especially when you got all those different talents in that same gym. He ain't the big swinging dick in there. He's not that. Matter of fact, he's under all of those guys. Maybe Oscar Valdez would parallel him. But Oscar has a big fight coming up against Stevenson. So, again, what has he done? What has he done in his career to merit more time? What has he done to develop this prima donna type mindset? Okay, Canelo says he's lazy. He said that before, but he said it in a nicer way, and Ryan Garcia blew it off. And I think at the end of the day, somebody has to tell it the way it is, the way it really is, or it really was with Ryan Garcia. And I think Canelo Alvarez is doing exactly that. He's lazy. He didn't want to show up. He didn't want to show up on time. And when he did come, he only trained for 20 minutes. And then he would leave again and he wouldn't show up for the next 2 or 3 days. So, he wasn't focused and he definitely wasn't disciplined. So it was probably a good thing that he left, but the magnificent thing that I think about that sticks out is why didn't Eddie Reynoso kick him the fuck out? Because Eddie's supposed to be that no-nonsense type of trainer. Like, hey, you don't put in work here. No trabajar. No quedar aquí. You don't work. You don't stay. Okay? So that's what I'm surprised about. But anyway, I think it was a good idea for Ryan Garcia to leave that gym to go somewhere where he does feel more appreciated, because ego is a mother sucker, people. You guys tell me what you think of Canelo Alvarez laying it down, setting the facts straight about Ryan Garcia. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.